Right, now you already would have read extract 3, so I'm not going to read it to you, but thinking about narrative perspective at first, you'll already know that actually there's nothing wrong with Hitchhiker at all. He's a gardener. It's the narrator who is questionable, and actually his mental health is such that it leads him to brutally kill people. But his perspective of the hitchhiker and his paranoia is noted by some of these verb choices. When he talks about rainwater glistening on his jacket, now Horowitz has thought really carefully there, because the glistening suggests something that is shining, perhaps that it's a clue. It also brings attention to the rainwater and that pathetic fallacy that's already set the tone. And again, you're looking for clues that happen elsewhere, trying to make out his features in the half light. There's an admission there that he can't see him properly. He's trying to make out, and if he can't see things, he's kind of making it up on his own. And then I really enjoy this bit. We know that he's a gardener, and when you hear about what he's wearing here, and down here it talks about his clothes looked old and second-hand, a sports jacket and baggy corduroys, the sort of clothes a gardener might wear. That's always really enjoyable in the second reading. And of course, any writer is not going to just start writing and make it up as they go along. Horowitz already knows that this man is a gardener. He's already planned it. Okay, so if we go back to kind of punctuation then. So let's have a look here. So have you been out for the day? He asked. The question mark, it's a question by the speaker. So the inverted commas are there. They've gone for single on this occasion rather than double. That doesn't matter. That's your choice. But the question mark goes inside the inverted commas. Same with here. Yes, my father knew he'd annoyed my mother and he was determined to be cheerful and chatty. So the yes is what the father has said. He finished his sentence there. The full stop goes inside the inverted commas. And it goes on throughout. We've been in Southwold. It's a beautiful place. Full stop. Inside the inverted commas. Same with oh yes. So the rules of punctuation for speech there are quite interesting. I've also highlighted glanced in red. It's another one of those verb choices. Not looked at me, not stared at me, glanced. It's almost like a sideways, subtle look, which fuels the narrator's paranoia that the hitchhiker is concentrating on him and only him and trying to do it without being seen. Now, you don't have to use a speech tag every time, particularly when it's a continuation between two speakers. So it could say, do you know Southwold? My father asked. No, replied the hitchhiker. So where have you come from today? My father said, but you don't need it. It's too clunky. It's not becoming a script, but there's no new speaker interjecting at the moment. So, do you know Southwold? My father asked. No. So where have you come from today? The man thought for a moment. I broke down near Lowestoft. So you need that moment of pause there. But just think about that when you're being creative with dialogue. And the usual rules of punctuation in there, the question marks, the full stops, these terminal marks are inside the inverted commas. Now, I haven't actually got the next bit of dialogue here, but I broke down near Lowestoft, he said, and somehow I knew he was lying. He hadn't finished speaking here. He hadn't finished his sentence. So in that case, we've got a comma here. But either way, it's still inside the inverted commas. We've got a bit more here. So, what's your name? Again, it's a question, the question mark inside the inverted commas. But he's not finished here. So when he answers relic, which we know is killer backwards, it's not even relic, his name's relic. But our narrator, narrative perspective, mishears it, hears what he wants to hear. So relic, he said, Ian relic. So he hadn't finished, so the comma's there, and it goes inside the inverted commas. Everything else is quite straightforward. A lot of questions here, really. So as you kind of write your dialogue by the end of the week, just make sure you follow the rules. Experiment a bit. You don't need speech tags every time. Look at verb choices. I really like this. The man uncurled his hand. Not opened, but uncurled, as if there's some kind of malign presence there. He's doing it slowly to suggest there's something to be feared within that hand, not to be trusted. Okay, you're ready to click on.